The Pacific Ocean held many secrets, but none quite like this. Dr. Maya Chen stood at the viewport of the deep-sea research vessel Nautilus, watching as the submersible's lights illuminated something that shouldn't exist. 3 miles beneath the surface, embedded in the ocean floor, was a structure that defied explanation. "Are you seeing this?" Maya's voice trembled slightly as she spoke into her comm. The massive object before them was clearly artificial, a sweeping arc of metallic material that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Its surface bore intricate patterns that pulsed with a faint blue luminescence. "We're getting the feeds, Dr. Chen." Director Williams' voice crackled through the speaker. "Every sensor on the Nautilus is recording. Whatever this is, it's not natural, and it's not human." Maya pressed her hand against the thick glass, trying to process what she was seeing. The structure had been discovered during a routine geological survey, but there was nothing routine about this. Initial scans suggested it was at least 100,000 years old, yet it appeared pristine, untouched by time. "The energy readings are off the charts," reported Dr. James Kumar, the team's physicist. "It's like nothing we've ever encountered. The material composition doesn't match anything in our database." As the Nautilus's lights swept across the structure, something changed. The blue patterns began to pulse more rapidly, rippling across the surface like waves on a digital ocean. Maya felt it before she saw it, a deep vibration that resonated through the vessel's hull. "We need to back off," James warned, but it was too late. A burst of energy erupted from the structure, bathing the Nautilus in brilliant blue light. For a moment, Maya thought they were done for. Instead, she heard a voice, not in her ears, but in her mind. "Protocol Alpha initiated. Guardian Sight Earth-1 activated. After 127,000 cycles, the children have finally reached the threshold." The voice was neither male nor female, neither young nor old. It simply was. And with it came understanding. Fragments of knowledge flooding into Maya's consciousness like a digital download straight to her brain. They weren't alone. They never had been. The structure was a guardian site, one of many scattered across Earth by an ancient civilization called the Predecessors. For millennia, these sites had silently watched humanity's development, protecting Earth from threats beyond their comprehension, while waiting for humans to reach a specific technological threshold. That threshold had just been crossed. "Dr. Chen." Director Williams' voice cut through her revelations. "We're detecting massive energy signatures in orbit. Something's happening." Maya knew what it was before the images came through. High above Earth, ancient defense systems were awakening. Massive structures were materializing from what seemed like thin air orbital platforms that had been cloaked and dormant for thousands of years. But they weren't awakening because humanity had finally evolved enough to be noticed. They were awakening because they were needed. "We are the Concordat," the voice continued in Maya's mind. "An alliance of civilizations dedicated to preserving life throughout the galaxy. Earth was seeded with potential, protected until you were ready. That time has come sooner than expected, because the Void Dominion approaches." Through the mental link, Maya saw them. Vast fleets of biomechanical ships, moving between the stars like a plague of locusts. The Void Dominion, a collective of species that consumed rather than created, stripping worlds of resources and life alike. They had detected Earth's emerging technology, and they were coming. "Your world has 10 standard solar rotations to prepare," the voice stated. "We will provide guidance, but the defense of Earth must come from humanity itself. The Guardian sites contain the knowledge you need, but how you use it will determine your survival." The blue light faded, leaving Maya with a head full of impossible knowledge and a weight of responsibility she never asked for. The Nautilus's communication systems exploded with activity as similar Guardian sites activated across the globe. Humanity's isolation was over, but their greatest challenge was just beginning. Within hours, the world's governments were scrambling to respond. The UN Security Council convened an emergency session as reports flooded in from every corner of the globe. Guardian sites were awakening in the Sahara, the Antarctic, the Amazon, and dozens of other locations. Each contained different pieces of the puzzle: technology, history, warnings. Dr. Maya Chen found herself at the center of it all, one of the few humans who had received direct communication from the Concordat. As she was rushed to a secure facility in Geneva, she couldn't help but feel both terror and excitement. Humanity had dreamed of first contact for generations, but not like this. Not with an invasion force already bearing down on them. The next few days were a blur of briefings, demonstrations, and revelations. The Guardian sites weren't just libraries or warning systems. They were factories, capable of producing technology far beyond human understanding. But they wouldn't simply hand over their weapons. The predecessors had designed the sites to work in harmony with human innovation, requiring Earth's scientists and engineers to adapt and improve upon the ancient designs. "We cannot simply give you the tools to survive," the Concordat's message had explained. "You must understand them, make them your own." The Void Dominion adapts quickly. Only through continuous innovation can they be defeated. A month after the discovery, Maya stood in a massive underground facility beneath the Swiss Alps, watching as the first hybrid vessel took shape. It was beautiful and terrifying, a seamless blend of human engineering and predecessor technology. The ship's hull incorporated materials that Earth's scientists were only beginning to understand, while its weapon systems combined conventional physics with principles that seemed to defy reality itself. But more remarkable than the technology was the way humanity had responded to the crisis. Old rivalries were being set aside as nations pooled their resources and knowledge. The threat of extinction had accomplished what decades of diplomacy could not: true global cooperation. Yet challenges remained. Not everyone welcomed the changes that were coming. Religious groups struggled to reconcile their beliefs with the reality of ancient alien guardians. Conspiracy theorists claimed it was all an elaborate hoax. Some nations accused others of hoarding alien technology. And through it all, the clock was ticking. 9 months remained until the Void Dominion arrived, and Earth's defenders had to be ready. The Guardian sites were clear. Humanity would either rise to this challenge or face extinction. There would be no second chances. As Maya reviewed the latest test results from the hybrid vessel's propulsion system, she received another message from the Concordat. This one carried images of other worlds that had faced the Void Dominion. Some had fallen, their surfaces stripped to bare rock. Others had survived, emerging stronger from the crucible of war. The message was clear: humanity's true test was beginning. Everything that had come before, every war, every crisis, every triumph over adversity, had been preparation for this moment. The silent guardians had protected Earth for millennia, but now it was humanity's turn to prove they were worthy of that protection. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: humanity would face it standing tall, armed with the wisdom of the past and the innovation of the present. The stars had once seemed like an unreachable frontier. Now they were a battlefield, and Earth's children were about to show the galaxy what they were truly capable of. Captain Sarah Martinez hadn't slept properly in days. Standing on the bridge of the UES Hyperion, Earth's first hybrid warship, she watched as her crew ran through another combat simulation. The ship hummed beneath her feet, its predecessor-derived systems working in perfect harmony with human engineering. "Multiple contacts, bearing 030, reported Lieutenant Jackson from the tactical station. "Simulation profile matches expected Void Dominion configurations." Sarah nodded, letting muscle memory take over. After 3 months of constant drills, her crew moved like a well-oiled machine. They had to. Humanity's window of preparation was rapidly closing. The Hyperion was a testament to human adaptability. In just 6 months, Earth's scientists and engineers had taken the predecessor's technology and made it their own. What started as pure alien designs had evolved into something unique: ships that combined human intuition with ancient power. "Launch countermeasures," Sarah ordered as simulated enemy fire streaked toward them. The Hyperion's defense systems responded instantly, deploying a field of quantum disruption particles that the engineering team had dubbed chaff. It was a human innovation, taking the predecessor's advanced shielding technology and turning it into an offensive weapon. But the real breakthrough had come 2 months ago, when Dr. Maya Chen and her team made a startling discovery. Humans possessed a unique genetic marker, one that allowed them to interface with predecessor technology more effectively than any species the Concordat had encountered. What the aliens had thought would take years to master, humanity was achieving in months. "Captain," Commander Elena Rossi called from her science station, "we're picking up anomalous readings from the Kuiper Belt. These aren't part of the simulation." Sarah's heart rate spiked. They all knew this moment would come, but knowing didn't make it easier. "Show me." The main display lit up with sensor data. 3 objects, moving faster than anything human technology could achieve, were decelerating as they entered the solar system. Their energy signatures matched exactly what the Concordat had warned them about. "Void Dominion scouts." "Sound general quarters," Sarah ordered, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. "This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill." As alarms blared throughout the ship, Sarah opened a channel to Earth Command. "This is UES Hyperion. We have confirmed contact with Void Dominion forces, requesting permission to engage under Protocol 7. The response came quickly. "Permission granted, Hyperion. Show them what humanity can do." The Hyperion wasn't alone. 2 other hybrid vessels, the Prometheus and the Titan, moved to support her. Together, they represented humanity's first line of defense, a perfect blend of human courage and alien technology. "All ships, form up on my mark," Sarah commanded. "Remember your training. These aren't simulations anymore." The Void Dominion scouts were unlike anything they'd seen before. Their ships seemed to absorb light, creating patches of artificial darkness against the star field. But Sarah's crew was ready. Months of preparation had led to this moment. "Weapons free," she ordered. "Let's show them they picked the wrong species to mess with." The battle that followed would be written into human history books. The Void Dominion scouts, expecting to find a primitive civilization, instead encountered ships that could match their every move. Human pilots, their natural affinity for predecessor technology, amplified by months of training, proved more than a match for the alien attackers. The Hyperion's main cannon, a weapon that combined conventional physics with principles that seemed to violate the laws of nature, fired first. The shot connected, tearing through the lead scout's advanced shields like they were tissue paper. The alien ship spiraled away, trailing debris and exotic particles. But the Void Dominion hadn't conquered hundreds of worlds by being easy to defeat. The remaining scouts split up, their weapons firing streams of dark energy that could dissolve matter at the atomic level. The Prometheus took a glancing hit, its hybrid shields flaring as they barely held back the destructive force. "Pattern Delta," Sarah called out, "just like we practiced." The 3 Earth ships moved in perfect synchronization, executing maneuvers that would have been impossible 6 months ago. The predecessor technology responded to their commands with almost prescient speed, as if the ships themselves were extensions of their crew's will. When the battle ended 20 minutes later, 2 Void Dominion scouts had been destroyed, and the third had fled back into deep space. The message was clear. Humanity wasn't helpless prey. They were warriors, ready to fight for their place among the stars. But victory came with a price. The Prometheus had taken damage, and the analysis of the battle data showed that the Void Dominion's technology was even more advanced than the Concordat had warned. This had only been a scouting party. The main invasion force would be far more powerful. Back on Earth, the successful defense was met with both celebration and grim determination. Construction of hybrid ships accelerated, and more crews began training with the advanced technology. The Guardian sites worked overtime, producing weapons and defenses that would have seemed like magic just a year ago. But political tensions were rising. Some nations, despite the global emergency, were demanding larger shares of the alien technology. Others were proposing preemptive strikes against the approaching Void Dominion fleet, a strategy that many believed would be suicidal. Dr. Chen, watching the recovery of the Prometheus from her laboratory beneath the Swiss Alps, made another breakthrough. The genetic marker that made humans such effective pilots wasn't just a coincidence. The predecessors had visited Earth millions of years ago, subtly altering human DNA to create perfect partners for their technology. We weren't just protected, she explained to the UN Security Council. We were designed for this moment. Everything humanity has achieved, our adaptability, our creativity, our drive to explore, it was all leading to this. The revelation sparked fierce debate. Were humans merely pawns in some ancient alien game? Or had the predecessors seen something special in Earth's primitive inhabitants, something worth nurturing and protecting? Sarah Martins didn't care about the philosophical implications. As she oversaw repairs to her ship, she focused on the practical reality. Humanity had been given tools and knowledge, yes, but what they did with them was entirely their choice. The predecessors might have planted the seeds, but humans had done the growing on their own. As the Hyperion's crew prepared for their next deployment, reports came in from the outer solar system. More Void Dominion ships were approaching, larger and more powerful than the Scouts. The first real test of humanity's strength was about to begin. The storm was rising, and Earth's defenders would need every advantage, every innovation, and every ounce of courage to weather it. But for the first time since learning of the threat, Sarah felt truly confident. Humanity wasn't just fighting for survival. They were fighting to prove themselves worthy of their place among the stars. And the galaxy was about to learn just how formidable humanity could be. The warning came too late. High above Earth, the quantum detection grid registered hundreds of spatial distortions as the Void Dominion's main fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel. Their ships blotted out the stars, a vast armada of biomechanical horrors that stretched from Earth orbit to beyond the moon. In the underground command center beneath Geneva, Admiral Chen Wei watched the tactical display with growing dread. The enemy fleet was larger than anything the Concordat had warned them about. Either their allies had severely underestimated the Void Dominion's strength, or something had changed. Status of the defense fleet, he demanded, his voice cutting through the tense silence. 47 hybrid vessels combat ready, Colonel Rodriguez reported. Another 15 can launch within the hour. Ground-based defense platforms are online and tracking targets. It wouldn't be enough. They all knew it, but no one dared say it aloud. Humanity had accomplished miracles in the past 8 months, but they needed more time. The Guardian sites were still producing ships and weapons, but they couldn't match the enemy's overwhelming numbers. Then something unexpected happened. As the Void Dominion fleet moved into attack formation, a single transmission cut through their electromagnetic jamming. The message was in perfect English, delivered in a voice that sounded almost human. "Children of Earth," it began, "your defiance ends today. But we offer mercy. Surrender the Guardian sites and accept assimilation into the Dominion. Resist, and your world will be cleansed of all life." Admiral Chen's response was immediate. "All ships, battle stations, initiate Protocol Omega. We don't negotiate with extinction." The battle that followed would be remembered as humanity's darkest hour, and their finest. The Void Dominion struck first, their weapons tearing through space with devastating force. But Earth's defenders had prepared for this moment. Captain Sarah Martinez, now commanding the upgraded UES Hyperion, led the first counterattack. Her ship, along with a dozen others, executed a maneuver that should have been impossible, using the predecessor technology to briefly phase out of normal space, emerging behind the enemy's front lines. "Target their command ships," she ordered. "Use the quantum disruptors. Don't give them time to adapt." The hybrid fleet's weapons found their marks. Several massive Void Dominion vessels erupted in silent explosions, their exotic matter cores creating brief, artificial suns. But for every ship they destroyed, 3 more took its place. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Dr. Maya Chen worked frantically in the original Guardian site. The ancient structure had been acting strangely since the battle began, its energy patterns shifting in ways she'd never seen before. As she studied the readings, a holographic interface suddenly materialized. Primary defense grid activation detected. An artificial voice announced, "Initiating Protocol 0." Maya's eyes widened as she realized what was happening. The Guardian sites weren't just defensive platforms or manufacturing centers. They were keys, meant to unlock something far more powerful. "Admiral Chen," she called over the secure channel. "The sites are linking together. There's some kind of global defense system hidden beneath the surface. But something's wrong. The energy patterns are being disrupted." Before the Admiral could respond, a new threat emerged. Several Concordat ships, supposedly allies monitoring the battle, suddenly turned their weapons on Earth's fleet. The betrayal sent shockwaves through the command structure. "This is Ambassador Krell of the Concordat Security Council," a new voice transmitted. "We regret this deception, but we cannot allow Protocol 0 to activate. The humans have grown too powerful, too quickly. The prophecy cannot be fulfilled." The truth hit Maya like a physical blow. The Concordat hadn't helped Earth out of altruism. They'd been containing them, ensuring that humanity wouldn't unlock their full potential. The Void Dominion wasn't just an invader. They were unwitting pawns in a larger game. But the betrayal had come too late. The Guardian sites were already active, their combined power reaching out to something hidden in the depths of Earth's core. Ancient machinery, dormant for millions of years, began to awaken. On the Hyperion's bridge, Sarah Martinez watched in awe as golden light erupted from points all across Earth's surface. The light formed geometric patterns, linking the Guardian sites in a web of pure energy. For a moment, the battle itself seemed to pause as both sides witnessed something unprecedented. By the void, one of the Concordat traders transmitted, "They've done it. The awakening protocol has begun." The geometric patterns suddenly contracted, forming a tight sphere around Earth. Both the Void Dominion and the traitorous Concordat ships found their advanced technology failing, their weapons powerless against the ancient defense system. But the activation came with a price. The strain on Earth's power grid was immense, causing blackouts across entire continents. The hybrid fleet systems fluctuated wildly as they adjusted to the massive energy discharge. In her underwater laboratory, Maya received one final message from the Guardian site. The words appeared directly in her mind, accompanied by images that took her breath away. "The children have proven worthy," the message stated. "The test is complete. But the real trial is only beginning. Earth was seeded with our legacy for a purpose. You are the firewall against the darkness that comes from beyond the galactic core. The Void Dominion is merely the first wave. You must prepare." As the golden energy field stabilized around Earth, humanity faced a new reality. They weren't just fighting for survival anymore. They were part of something far larger, a cosmic defense system created by the predecessors to protect not just Earth, but the entire galaxy. The Concordat's betrayal had revealed the truth. Humanity's rapid mastery of the predecessor technology wasn't just genetic compatibility. It was destiny. The predecessors had chosen Earth as their successors, creating a species that could one day take their place as guardians of the galaxy. But first, they had to survive the next few hours. The Void Dominion's fleet, though temporarily stalled, was regrouping. The traitorous Concordat ships were calling for reinforcements, and the ancient defense system, while powerful, was putting impossible strain on Earth's infrastructure. As Sarah Martinez prepared her ship for another attack run, she understood what was at stake. This wasn't just a battle for Earth anymore. It was humanity's trial by fire, their chance to prove they were worthy of the legacy they'd inherited. The real war was just beginning. 7 days after the Concordat's betrayal, Earth's surface was barely recognizable. The golden energy field still rippled overhead, its geometric patterns shifting like a living thing. But beneath that protective dome, Humanity was changing in ways no one had predicted. Dr. Maya Chen stood in what had once been Times Square, watching as civilians interfaced with predecessor technology as naturally as breathing. The genetic markers in human DNA weren't just for piloting ships. They were the key to something far more profound. "It's like they were waiting for us to wake up," she muttered, observing a group of teenagers manipulating holographic interfaces with intuitive ease. What had taken months of training before now came naturally, as if humanity's potential had been artificially suppressed until this moment. Her comm unit chimed with an urgent message from Admiral Chen. "Maya, we need you at the Singapore hub. Something's happening with the global network." The Singapore hub, once a simple Guardian site, had transformed into something else entirely. As Maya's hypersonic transport approached, she saw that the structure had grown, extending crystalline spires into the sky that pulsed with internal light. Inside, she found Admiral Chen and Captain Martinez studying a holographic display that filled the entire chamber. It showed not just Earth and its immediate space, but the entire galaxy, with points of light marking what they now knew were other Guardian sites on distant worlds. The predecessors didn't just seed Earth, Sarah Martinez explained, gesturing to the display. They created a network of worlds, each with the potential to become what we're becoming. But something went wrong. Most of the sites are dark. Maya understood the implications immediately. The Void Dominion. They didn't just happen to find us. They've been systematically destroying Guardian worlds. "Correct," a new voice interjected. Everyone turned to see a holographic figure materialize, a representation of the Guardian site's AI consciousness. The Dominion is a symptom of a greater darkness. They are what happens when a species rejects the path of guardianship and chooses consumption instead. The AI's form shifted, showing images of worlds consumed by the Void Dominion. But these weren't just recordings. They were memories, preserved in the vast network that connected all Guardian sites. "Earth was our final attempt," the AI continued. "We seeded many worlds, but your species showed the most promise. The capacity for both creation and destruction, balanced by an understanding of consequence. When the Void Dominion emerged, we accelerated our plans. By betraying us to the Concordat," Admiral Chen said bitterly, "you manipulated events to force our awakening." "Yes," the AI admitted. "The Concordat's fear of your potential was predictable. Their betrayal was the catalyst needed to activate the full spectrum of human capability. But now you face a choice." The holographic display zoomed in on the Void Dominion fleet, still held at bay by Earth's energy field. Behind them, more ships were arriving. Not just Dominion reinforcements, but vessels from other alien civilizations. Some were coming to help, others to ensure Earth's destruction. "The network can be restored," the AI explained. "Earth's awakening has created a resonance that can reactivate other Guardian sites. But it requires a decision that only humanity can make." Maya felt the weight of that choice before it was even explained. The AI showed them what needed to be done, a process that would permanently alter human civilization. The genetic potential the predecessors had seeded would be fully expressed, transforming humanity into something new. "You would become true Guardians," the AI said. "But the cost would be our humanity." Sarah finished. "At least, humanity as we know it." The choice was impossible. Remain human and likely fall to the combined might of their enemies, or evolve into something more and take on the responsibility of protecting not just Earth, but countless worlds. But even as they debated, the decision was being made for them. All across Earth, people were instinctively connecting with the predecessor technology. Children were being born with abilities that their parents couldn't comprehend. The transformation had already begun. In orbit, the Hyperion's crew reported strange phenomena. The ship's systems were evolving, responding to their thoughts in ways that went beyond mere interface. It was as if the barrier between human and machine was dissolving. "We need to move quickly," Admiral Chen announced. "The energy field won't hold forever, and our enemies are gathering." "Dr. Chen, begin the activation sequence," Captain Martinez, Prepare the fleet. If we're going to do this, we do it on our terms." Maya nodded, her hands moving over the control interface with practiced ease. The Singapore hub's spires began to pulse more intensely, their energy connecting with similar structures all around the globe. But as they worked, a new threat emerged. Deep space sensors detected a massive object emerging from the darkness beyond Pluto's orbit. A Void Dominion worldship, a mobile fortress capable of destroying entire planets. "They're not just trying to stop our awakening," Sarah realized. "They're trying to prevent any world from ever reaching this point again. We're the last hope for the Guardian Network." The eye's form flickered as it delivered its final warning. The transformation cannot be stopped now, but it can be corrupted. If the Dominion strikes at the right moment, they could twist humanity's awakening into something darker. You would become like them, consumers rather than guardians. Maya looked at the tactical display, watching as the worldship approached. They had perhaps hours before it came into weapons range. The transformation would take at least that long. "Then we hold the line," Sarah declared. "We give Earth the time it needs, no matter the cost." Admiral Chen issued orders to the fleet. Every operational ship, every defense platform, every weapon Earth possessed would be committed to this final stand. They had to protect the transformation until it was complete. As Maya initiated the sequence that would change humanity forever, she felt a deep connection to every person on Earth. Their fears, their hopes, their determination, all flowing together in a symphony of consciousness that the predecessors had prepared them for over millions of years. The final battle for humanity's soul was about to begin. But regardless of the outcome, one thing was certain. Humanity as they knew it would end today. What they would become was still being written. High above, the stars seemed to pulse in rhythm, with the energy field protecting Earth. The galaxy watched and waited to see what would emerge from this crucible of transformation. Guardians or destroyers, saviors or conquerors. The answer would reshape the cosmos itself. The Void Dominion worldship cast a shadow larger than Earth's moon, its biomechanical surface writhing with dark energy. Captain Sarah Martinez watched from the Hyperion's bridge as humanity's combined fleet took up defensive positions. They weren't just fighting for survival anymore. They were fighting for the right to choose their own evolution. "All ships, maintain formation," she ordered, her voice carrying to every vessel in Earth's defense grid. "We hold the line. No matter what comes through that darkness, we hold." The transformation below was accelerating. Every Guardian site on Earth pulsed with increasing power, their energy merging with the humans they were meant to guide. Dr. Maya Chen, monitoring the process from the Singapore hub, felt the changes in her own body, an expanding awareness that connected her to both the ancient technology and every other human on the planet. 15 minutes to full transformation, she reported, her voice resonating strangely, as if multiple versions of herself were speaking at once. "But the worldship will be in firing range in 10. Admiral Chen made the call they'd all been dreading. "Initiate Protocol Ultimate. All ships prepare to engage." The Void Dominion struck first. The worldship's surface split open like a blooming flower of nightmare, revealing weapon systems that defied conventional physics. Beams of pure entropy lashed out, attempting to accelerate the heat death of space-time itself within their target zones. But humanity's defenders had one final card to play. In the months since their awakening, they'd done more than just adapt predecessor technology. They'd evolved it. Every ship in Earth's fleet carried a piece of the transformation that was changing their world. "Execute maneuver synthesis," Sarah commanded. At her word, the entire human fleet moved as one. The ships didn't just coordinate. They merged, their forms flowing together like liquid metal. The Hyperion became the heart of a new entity, a gestalt of human consciousness and predecessor engineering that rivaled the worldship in size. The sight stunned even their enemies. The Void Dominion's entropy beams splashed harmlessly against shields that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. The combined human fleet, now a single vast organism of metal and energy, pushed back. They're trying to corrupt the transformation matrix. Maya's voice echoed through the command network. The world ship, it's not just a weapon. It's a key to their own twisted version of evolution. Sarah felt it through her connection to the fleet entity. The Void Dominion wasn't trying to stop humanity's transformation. They were trying to hijack it, to turn Earth's awakening into a conversion to their own dark path. But they had underestimated humanity's greatest strength. Not their technology, not their genetic potential, but their diversity of thought and their capacity for choice. Every ship, every crew, Sarah broadcast, remember who you are. Remember why we fight. We are not simply accepting the predecessor's power. We are making it our own. The fleet entity pulsed with collective human consciousness. Memories flowed between crews. Childhood dreams of the stars, hopes for the future, the desire to protect and create rather than consume. The Void Dominion's corrupting influence crashed against an ocean of human identity and determination. Below, the transformation reached its critical point. The Guardian Sites released their final gift. Not just power or technology, but understanding. Every human on Earth simultaneously grasped the truth about their place in the cosmic cycle. The predecessors hadn't created humanity to be their replacements. They had created them to be their successors, to take their legacy and transform it into something new. The genetic markers, the hidden potential, these weren't chains of destiny, but tools for humanity to forge their own path. Maya Chen, her consciousness expanded beyond normal human limits, saw the pattern that the predecessors had woven. We are catalysts, she transmitted to the fleet, not just for our own evolution, but for the entire galaxies. The Guardian Network wasn't meant to preserve, it was meant to transform. The fleet entity surged forward, meeting the world ship's next attack head-on. But instead of merely defending, they began to change the nature of the battle itself. The human crews, their minds linked but each maintaining their unique perspective, rewrote the rules of engagement. Where the Void Dominion sought to consume, humanity chose to convert. The entropy beams were caught, reformed, and turned into fountains of new energy. The world ship's attempts to corrupt were transformed into opportunities for growth. They're running, someone announced as the world ship's outer layers began to disintegrate. The Void Dominion, faced with an enemy they couldn't consume or corrupt, chose retreat. But their withdrawal came too late. The transformation wave from Earth reached critical mass. The golden energy field expanded exponentially, washing over both friend and foe alike. When it touched the retreating Void Dominion ships, it didn't destroy them. It offered them a choice. Some accepted, their biomechanical forms dissolving and reforming into something new. Others fled into the darkness between stars, but they would never again be the threat they once were. The age of consumption was ending. A new era was beginning. The fleet entity dissolved, individual ships reforming as the immediate danger passed. On the Hyperion's bridge, Sarah Martinez looked at her crew with new eyes. They were still human, still themselves, but also something more. The transformation hadn't erased their humanity. It had elevated it. Deep space sensors are active, her tactical officer reported with a smile. The Guardian Network is responding. Sights on other worlds are awakening. Maya's voice came through the comm, filled with wonder. The predecessors didn't fail with their other seeded worlds. They were waiting. Earth wasn't just the last Guardian world. We were the key to awakening all of them. Across the galaxy, ancient machines stirred to life. The Guardian Network wasn't just reactivating. It was evolving, transformed by contact with human consciousness. Humanity's unique mix of individual identity and collective action had broken through the limitations of the original design. Admiral Chen, watching from Earth Command, saw the bigger picture emerging. Humanity had just inherited not just the predecessors' power, but their purpose. They would be guardians not through overwhelming force or technological superiority, but through understanding and choice. The stars themselves seemed brighter now, as if responding to the new awareness spreading through the galaxy. Earth's children had passed their trial by fire. They had faced extinction and transcendence, and they had chosen their own path. They were still human, still bound by the desires and doubts that defined their species. But now they were also something more, guardians not just of Earth, but of light's potential throughout the cosmos. The legacy of the predecessors hadn't ended. It had transformed into something even they couldn't have predicted. As the golden light of transformation faded, leaving a changed but familiar Earth behind, humanity looked to the stars with new purpose. They had chosen to protect rather than consume, to elevate rather than dominate. And in doing so, they had become something unprecedented in the galaxy's history. They had become themselves, only more so. And that was the greatest transformation of all.